It's rain, rain. I leave in my behavior at home. I leave in my behavior at home. I in a mood to walk my one for my behavior rude. You know when I come out is real attitude, yeah. We're slang activated and it loose, so loose. So let me take a wine down to the floor. From today I wanted hardcore. I come to walk where you're stopping for. Give me some more, give me some more. Let me take a wine down to the ground. Watch my bumper turning around. All on my ways, so we go down, go down. On the road, winding low, see my jamming down to the floor. Break the liquor and start to pour, we line it. Catch me on the road, winding low, see my jamming down to the floor. Everybody already know it's madness. I live in my behavior at home, I live in my behavior at home. Watch how I getting on, I ain't a party mode. I live in my behavior at home, I live in my behavior at home. Watch how I getting on. Feeling right, atmosphere set and everything nice, so nice. And you know that you understand what I like, yeah. But you know it's trouble tonight, it's trouble tonight. So let me take a wine right down to the floor. From today I wanted hardcore. I come to walk where you're stopping for. Give me some more, give me some more. Let me take a wine right down to the ground. Watch my bumper turning around. Along my way so we go down, go down. On the road, winding low, see me jamming down to the floor. Bring the liquor and start to pour, we line it. Catch me on the road, winding low, see me jamming down to the floor. Everybody already know it's madness. Cause I live in my behavior at home, I live in my behavior at home. Watch how I getting on, I ain't a party mode. I live in my behavior at home, I live in my behavior at home. Watch how I getting on. Right now my bumper, want to jam, want to wine. Right now bumper, and grind. Right now my bumper, it wants to bounce, it wants to shake. Right now my bumper, want to mash up the place. Cause my behavior at home.
I live in my behavior at home. What you doing with yours? Greetings, greetings and salutations one and all. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the night shift with DJ Kevin Steele. It's community light, it's healthy love night. I want to say big up to each and everyone locked in right now. Those on TuneIn Radio. I want to say an apology. I want to give an apology to some of my affiliates. I realized late that you guys weren't getting the feed. So I do apologize. There was one adjustment to the system and it just threw that whole thing off. So I do apologize to the affiliates that didn't get the broadcast last night. But I welcome you all tonight. Those hailing from across upon and One Harmony Radio. Top of the morning to you. King Genius, Queen Genius. Much love. And like I said last night, some of you guys missed it. Coming off the weekend where I celebrated another trip around the sun, the celebration continues. And y'all get to celebrate with me. I want to say much love to those who are hailing out of New Jersey with New Jersey's finest, the Motivator. Those locked in on NIE Radio. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Much love to the New York Massive. Locked in on Island Worldwide, exhibiting the power of music. Big up to China Nicole. Much love to Gary and Jump Out production crew. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Much love to those hailing out of Long Island. On Reggae Pulse Radio. DJ Atomic Force and the crew. Much love to you. I want to say big ups to those who are locked in on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Mr. Twinkle Toes. Clinton Lindsay, welcome. How you doing? Big ups to those who are locked in on PEMGTV.com. Those hailing out of Texas. NIE on WGLRO, Follow Up Radio, and Dusic Media Groups. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you. Big ups to those on Clubhouse. Much love to the massive on Facebook Live. Those on YouTube Live. And of course those here at the home of the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment, kevinstew.com. So glad to have you. Couldn't do it without you. You have my word, I wouldn't even try. I want to say thank you to my segment sponsors. Paul C Media Group and Big in a Moment is priceless. Go ahead and give them a call. They'll take care of your videos, your photos, your streaming, your ads. Everything you see on kevinstew.com and more. You can even ask them about hosting services for your website. You want to stream a wedding, a party, a graduation, a funeral, a seminar. You name the event, you want to stream it live on a secure platform, whether yours or theirs. Give them a call, 754-999-1140. That's 754-999-1140. Tell them Kevin Stew sent you. I want to say thank you to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands. Althea S. is a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach counties. Thanks to you, bringing her oils and over 20 years massage therapy experience. Give her a call, 954-655-9000 and schedule your appointment today. She only has one request outside of paying her. It is to get off her table and go sleep somewhere else when she's done. I guarantee you, you'll be out like a light. I want to say thanks to Reggae Global Entertainment. Reggae Global acts as your booking agents, handle your tour management, take care of your business registrations, legal service referrals, music production, marketing and promotion, and much, much more. Give them a call, 954-804-8199. Or check them out online, reggaeglobal.com. I say thank you to Mike Neil Trucking. Mike Neil Trucking is a veteran-owned, licensed and insured movers in the state of Florida. So you want to move from the Keys up to Jacksonville, move from Naples to Pebble Beach or Cocoa Beach, from Palm Beach to Tampa, Pensacola even. You want to move some things into storage, you don't have the manpower, you don't have the transportation. Don't worry, you have the name, you have the number. Mike Neil Trucking, 954-406-9740. That's 954-406-9740. Mike Neil Trucking has your goods in good hands.
See me jamming down to the floor. Everybody already know it's my day. I leave in my behavior at home. I leave in my behavior at home.
The sound of rain kicking things off.
Party mode. I leave in my behavior.
Track called My Behavior.
Behavior at home. Hey, right now my bumper. What's the jam? What's the one?
Hey Rupert, greetings bro, how you doing?
Push up on it and grind. Right now my bumper. It's one to bounce, it's one to shake. Right now my bumper. Want to mash up the pace. Cause my behavior at home.
I want to remind you that the phone lines are open. 773-789-STEW gets you in touch. You can call, you can text, you can WhatsApp, you can Telegram. The number is scrolling across the bottom of your screen. It's 773-789-STEW. 773-789-7839. Inviting you to call your friends, tell your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends, and your enemies too. Call up everybody because information is good for everybody. Tonight in Healthy Love, we're looking at sexual dimorphism and insulin resistance. You kind of have to wonder, what do these have in common? Of course, that is outside asking, what is that exactly? And I understand. It's a legitimate question to ask, you know, what's all that? Well, if you took your behavior with you and you didn't leave it at home, you probably would have known about it before now. But since you didn't, and I am here, available with information, you can get it. Before we get too deep into that, I do want to say, encourage everyone to say a small prayer for those who work on the outside, especially down in southeast Florida right about now, where you have a little bit of a nasty weather heading this way. You know, a little bit of a tropical storm, Nicole, projected to become a hurricane overnight. So we'll see where and what happens with that. However, yeah, look out for say a small prayer for those who are first responders, those who have to be working through the night on the outside. Just a little prayer for you. Big ups to those who won their seats in the midterm elections. Congratulations to you. I trust you do the job that you're elected to do, and you don't just take the position for granted, nor the people who put you there. Because remember, the people who put you there are the ones that can remove you from there. And the people who voted to put these people there, remember, you are the ones that put them there. So hold them accountable. Because that's why they're there. They're there to represent we the people. So hold them accountable to the positions that they have sworn to take. Yeah? Anyway, this is not about that. Tonight, it's about sexual dimorphism and insulin resistance. And more specifically, as I came across this article in newsmedical.net, it's that a study finds sexual dimorphism in the development of vascular insulin resistance induced by obesogenic behavior or obesogenic lifestyle. And this was an article released as a result of a new study from the University of Missouri School of Medicine. And this is the first bit of evidence in humans that short-term lifestyle changes can disrupt the response to insulin of blood vessels. Yeah. And it is also the first study to show men and women react differently to these changes. So, first of all, let's break down sexual dimorphism a little bit before we get into that article. We're gonna look at some of these aspects. We're gonna do it the other way around tonight. We're gonna look at some of the aspects of or some of the components of this article, so that when we go through the article, we'll have a better understanding of what they're saying. Sexual dimorphism, as a start, what is that? It is the systemic difference in the form between individual sex in the same species. So you're talking about so individuals of different sexes in the same species. For example, in some species, including many mammals, the male is larger than the female. In others, such as some spiders, the female is larger than the male. Other sex-specific differences include color, when you look at birds, song in birds, size or presence of parts of the body used in struggles for dominance, such as horns or antlers, tusks, the size of the eyes, as in the case of bees, possession of stings, various kinds of bees, and different thresholds for certain behaviors like aggression and infant care. Sexual dimorphism in humans is the subject of much controversy. Human male and female appearances are perceived as different, although Homo sapiens has a low level of sexual dimorphism compared with many other species. The similarity in sizes of male and female human beings is a good example of how nature often does not make clear divisions. To give an accurate picture of male and female size differences, one would need to show how many individuals there are in each size category. And there is a considerable overlap. For example, the body masses of both male and female humans are approximately normally distributed. In the United States, the mean mass of an average male is 78.5 kilograms, whereas the adult female mean is about 62 kilograms even. I probably should have done the pound conversion. Nonetheless, you can do that. However, the standard deviation of male body mass is 12.6 kilograms. So 10% of the average males are actually lighter than the female average. All right? Now, why? Well, that science goes a little bit further with that. Now, the phenomenon of sexual dimorphism is a direct product of evolution by natural selection, in that the struggle for reproductive process drives many male and female organisms down different evolutionary paths. This can provide forms of dimorphism which, on the face of it, would actually seem to disadvantage organisms. For instance, the bright coloration of male game birds makes them highly visible targets for predators. Antlers of deer and other forms of natural weaponry are very expensive to grow and carry in terms of the energy consumed by the animal in the process. Drab female birds, compared to the male species that are highly decorated, are far better equipped to camouflage themselves. So that is when you compare the birds. The answer to the apparent paradox is that at a biological level, the reproductive success of an organism is often more important than its long-term survival. This is particularly apparent in the case of game birds. A male common pheasant in the wild often lives no more than 10 months, with females living twice as long. However, a male pheasant, his ability to reproduce depends not on how long he lives, but whether females will select him to be their mate. His bright coloration demonstrates to the female that he is fit, healthy, and a good choice to father her chicks. And that is why they have that bright color. Now, in the case of herd animals, such as deer, the male, his reproductive success is directly proportional to the number of sexually receptive females with which he can mate. The male's antlers are an example of a sexually dimorphic weapon with which the males fight each other to establish breeding rights. Again, although they are expensive in terms of personal survival, they ensure that the largest and strongest males will have the most successful in reproducing and thereby will be the most successful in reproducing and thereby ensure that those characteristics are passed on to the next generation. Access to the opposite sex is not the only reason why sexual dimorphism exists. In insects in particular, females are larger than the males. It is though that reason lies in the huge number of eggs that the insects lay. A larger body size enables the female insects to lay more eggs, and in some cases, sexual dimorphism enables male and females to exploit different food resources, thus increasing their collective ability to find food source. Some species of woodpecker have differently sized and shaped beaks, enabling the sexes to find insects in different layers of a tree's bark. It is also common in birds of prey that a female be larger than the male, an example of reverse sexual dimorphism. The size difference allows the mated pair to hunt a greater variety of prey for themselves and for their chicks. So that really gives us an overview of sexual dimorphism. So let me give you the topic of the article that we're going to focus on later on. Again, a study finds sexual dimorphism in the development of vascular insulin resistance induced by obesogenic lifestyle. So we looked at the sexual dimorphism part. All right, so we recognize that has something to do with gender. It has something to do with evolution. So we have to now address the vascular insulin resistance, and we have to address the obesogenic lifestyle. We're going to look at those when we come back from the break. During the break, we're going to say goodbye to those on Clubhouse, those on Facebook Live. Just come on over to kevinstew.com. The link is pinned in the description. It's in the comment section. Just come on over. You can join us in the stew pot. For those of you wondering what the stew pot is, it is what others call a chat room, but because we're fancy on kevinstew.com, it is the stew pot. You just jump on in. You don't have to register. You don't have to offer your firstborn an internal organ or a blood sacrifice. You just are there. It is completely free, and there's nothing better than free 99. So you can, while you're visiting the website, you can always donate to the ongoing processes of the website and the broadcasts, which we bring to you. But being there is entirely up to you, and it's entirely free. Those of you who miss broadcasts, or like the affiliates who missed last night's broadcast, where we addressed vote suppression, you can always catch the rebroadcast. You can go to kevinstew.com and check the archives, so you can watch or listen to the archived version of last night's broadcast. You can do the podcast, listen, or you can watch the YouTube archive, all from the website kevinstew.com. And also on the website, you will find a link to my very first audiobook. And is entitled Empowered: Essential Concepts and Strategies Every Woman Should Know About Self-Defense. And this book was written by Jonathan Field. I did the narration of the audiobook. So you can visit Amazon and get your copy. You can go to Audible to download your copy today. I encourage you to do so. Use it to present it as a gift to someone if you wish, because it makes for an excellent gift. And notice I said someone, not because it is essential concepts and strategies every woman should know about self-defense. Does it mean that men should not be aware of the information too? Because we have daughters, we have sisters, we have female friends, and not everybody gets the information. So you can gift it to some, or you can learn information yourself and teach it to some. Either way, it's a great gift, it's a great read, it's an excellent listen. Get your copy today. We'll be right back.
Policy Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Policy Media Group.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism. Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Ladies, lovers of the music, it is here, the brand spanking new album from Ed Robinson and Ian Sweetness, a tribute to Teddy Pendergrass. Amazing. 10 blazing tracks, 2 amazing singers going hit for hit, classic for classic. A tribute to Teddy Pendergrass, Ian Sweetness, Ed Robinson. Oh man. It's out now. Available everywhere. iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your music, it is there. A tribute to Teddy Pendergrass, brand spanking new, Ian Sweetness, Ed Robinson. Ladies, gentlemen, you've got to have this in your collection. Get it now. Available everywhere. Bruv, my last baby already gone off to college, mate. Is what this is send come gimme, man. It's a big album still, I love it. Big up Ed Robinson, Ian Sweetness, but this better come with a contraceptive.
Hey, I'm representing for DJ Kevin Stew, working on the night shift radio show. Won't go changing like the weather just to please the devil never. Well, DJ Kevin's true Sally Soul. That's a word and honor. It's Christianity representing word and honor. Celestia DJ Kevin's true.
This love won't change. No matter how long or far, still remain.
Let me tell you something, my boy.
Speak your mind.
Treat me right, I'll be good to you. For a love like mine's you'll never find. No matter where you go, so don't let her take you away from me. Don't let her take you away from me. Every day you treat me the same old way.
That's right, yeah.
Still I love you just the same. If you should go away from me, you will leave me in misery. So don't let her take you away from me. Don't let her take you away from me.
Baby, I will never leave you.
Don't let her take you away from me. Don't let her take you away from me.
Baby, I will never let you go. And I want you to know I need you by my side even when things slow. Yeah, let's stick together and let love grow. And tonight I take you to the picture show. Baby,
Let me tell you something, my boy.
speak your mind. Speak your mind.
Treat me right, I'll be good to you.
Yes, that's true.
For a love like mine's you'll never find.
I will never find.
No matter where you go, so don't let her take you away from me. Don't let her take you away from me. Every day you treat me the same old way.
Nothing less.
Still I love you just the same. If you should go away from me, you will leave me in misery. So don't let her take you away from me. Don't let her take you away from me. Don't let her take you away from me. Don't let her take you away.
Empress Unique working out to Luton Fire, bringing us back from the break.
Enough for your skit. Saturday morning, I take you to
The track is called Don't Let Her.
pressure. Let me carry the basket. We take you to
Well, it's actually called Don't Let Her Take.
market. Yes, you are the one for me. Best you believe, said the rust will never leave. See, I will keep you warm, so don't be upbeat.
Greetings, 351. How you doing?
Don't let her
Welcome to the broadcast.
take you away from me. Don't let her
Tonight we're talking
take you away.
sexual dimorphism and insulin resistance.
Don't let her take you away from me.
And it all stems from an article
Take you away.
on newsmedical.net, which is titled A Study Finds Sexual Dimorphism in the Development of Vascular Insulin Resistance Induced by Obesogenic Lifestyle. In the first part of the broadcast, we look at what sexual dimorphism is. Right now, we're going to look at another section of this article before we go through what the article is saying. And then you can take from that based on your more educated position. Yeah? So we looked at sexual dimorphism, and we recognize that that has to do with gender. It has to do with evolution as it relates to gender. And the survival of a species through evolution relating to those genders. And now we're going to be looking at vascular insulin. Well, we're going to be looking at insulin resistance and look at insulin resistance and how the vascular system comes into play with that. Excuse me. So, according to WebMD.com, insulin resistance means your body isn't using the hormone insulin the way it is supposed to do. Insulin helps move the glucose, the sugar, in your blood to parts of your body that need it to make energy, like the cells in your muscles. When the process works correctly, the level of glucose in your blood should be in a low and steady range. When you have insulin resistance, your cells are not reacting to the insulin the way that they're supposed to. They're resisting it. And sugar stays in your blood. As it builds up and reaches levels that stay high over time, the problem can turn into diabetes. Now, there's also a serious link between insulin resistance and other parts of your health, including your heart health. At one point, rise in your A1C, the blood test that measures blood sugar levels over time, it can boost your chances of having cardiovascular disease by up to 18%. That's because there are many ways that insulin resistance affects your heart and blood vessels. Insulin resistance raises blood sugar levels, and high blood sugar leads to inflammation, which damages the lining inside arteries. That damage could make it easier for plaque to build up in arteries. People with diabetes, they tend to have high cholesterol, especially a small, dense kind of LDL cholesterol that they can build up easily, slip inside blood vessel walls and create plaque. Plus, blood vessel walls get stiffer, which contributes to high blood pressure. The high blood sugar and inflammation also damage the nerves that control your heart. All of these changes can lead to diseases in your heart and blood vessels. Insulin resistance and diabetes can cause many types of heart-related conditions. Heart disease happens when blocked arteries create problems with blood flow, and that can lead to symptoms like chest pain and angina. Insulin resistance can also lead to weight gain. Being overweight can strain the heart and lead to heart failure. You see the complexities with one simple thing, sugar? When this happens, the heart cannot pump blood as well as it should, and fluid can build up in your legs and in your lungs. It can feel hard to breathe. If plaque builds up in one of your heart's arteries and completely blocks blood flow, then you'll have a heart attack. If one of these arteries to your brain gets blocked, then you'll have a stroke. Peripheral arterial disease is when you have narrowed arteries in your legs, and you might feel pain anywhere in your lower body when you move. Now, some of us feel pain in our lower body when we move, and it has nothing to do with that, but that is something else completely. Early diagnosis and treatment of heart disease and getting control of your blood sugar can help relieve symptoms and delay or stop these conditions from getting worse. A mix of lifestyle changes and medication can help you better manage blood sugar and heart health. So, what you want to do is lose weight. When you shed even a few extra pounds, you can lower blood pressure and blood sugar levels. If you're not overweight and have high blood pressure, then you need to do something else. Commit to a heart healthy diet so that also fights inflammation. Get plenty of vegetables and other sources of fiber every day. Cut sugar, saturated fat, and trans fat and salt. Now, you have to be careful with this because if you have a condition like thalassemia, which we looked at last week, you have to be very careful of the vegetables that you consume. You have to be very careful of the diet you have, because now it's an iron related condition. So if you have that and diabetes, boy, I'm no doctor. Like I always say, I have a DJ before my name and not a DR. But that doesn't look too promising at all. You also want to get active. Build up at least 30 minutes of aerobic exercise on 5 days a week, if you can. Fun activities count, like gardening and going for a walk. And don't forget to work your muscles. Do strengthening exercise at least 2 days a week. Before you try a new activity, though, ask your doctor if it is safe for you to try. Get some exercise in. Move. One of the things that is really killing us, especially here in America, is we have sedentary jobs. We tend to sit a lot. And so when we have those jobs that take up a lot of our time during the days, we need to find ways to move on the job. Get up from your desk on occasions, walk around the office, walk outside if you can. Take 15 minutes. You get 2 15-minute breaks. 2 15-minute breaks each day. You get 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the afternoon. And plus you get lunchtime. Use those times wisely. And even in between those times, you want to get up and stretch a little bit, take a deep breath, things like that, just to get your muscles working just a little bit. Do a couple of squats at your desk. People might look at you strange, but guess what? You'll outlive them. If they're not doing something, you're going to outlive them. And if you care about them, you'll inform them of what you are doing so that they will get on board and do it also. So now they don't look at you strange because they're doing the very same things that you are doing. They might look at you strange because you're doing it before them and they wanted to do it before you, but that is fine. That is healthy competition. If you smoke, stop. If you consume a lot of alcohol, cut back. Women who drink should have less than 1 serving a day, and men should have less than 2 servings per day, unless your doctor advises even less. You thought I was going to say that you can have more? No. If your doctor advises even less, you do less. Control high blood pressure and high cholesterol. You can do this with a combination of healthy habits and medication. So that addresses the insulin resistance part and the vascular insulin resistance and the dangers of that. So again, the article says a study finds sexual dimorphism in the development of vascular insulin resistance induced by obesogenic lifestyle. So what then is this obesogenic lifestyle that they're referring to? Comment here in the stew pot. Living in balance is the way to go. Eat healthy, exercise, manage stress, and have good relations. I love walks and nature. So, okay. Eat healthy, exercise, manage stress, have good relations. It sounds like having good relations will contribute to managing the stress. And taking walks in nature would take care of all kinds of stress. and contribute to the exercise part. And if you eat healthy, then that takes care of the gut biome part. So 351, it looks like you have a little bit of a formula there that is going on. I like it. Now, as it relates to the obesogenic lifestyle, what is that? Obesityevidencehub.org talks to us about the obesogenic environment and how we actually got there. Because that now speaks to another part of the article that we need to wrap our minds around. And if you live in a society where certain things are very readily available, you run the risk. You run the risk of ending up living in an obesogenic lifestyle. Again, certain things are important. Balance in life, like 351 said, that's important. Major shifts in diet and activity patterns are leading to increased rates of obesity and chronic diseases around the world. This nutrition transition has already taken place in high-income countries and is now rapidly occurring in low and middle-income countries. Transnational food and beverage companies, your big food industries, are having a negative effect on global and local food systems. Now, the term nutrition transition describes major shifts in diet and activity which can lead to obesity. Many low and middle income countries are facing a double burden of undernutrition and obesity, because what people are having for food have low nutritional value and high sugar content or high sodium content, things that contribute to obesity. And also, these people live very sedentary lives. So they get poor nutrition, they don't get good exercise, they're stressed, which also increases cortisol levels being released, which contributes to fat storage in the body. So we have all these things working against us. Obesogenic environments are encouraging high energy intake and sedentary behavior. Obesity has been characterized as a systems problem with complex and interconnected causes. Obesity is now one of the largest contributors to poor health in most countries, with rates having risen steadily around the world over the past 4 to 5 decades. Researchers have used the term nutrition transition to describe major shifts in diet and activity patterns that are now leading to increases in the rates of obesity and chronic diseases. Most low and middle income countries are now moving rapidly from an end of famine pattern as incomes have risen and nutrition improved. And they have moved to a pattern characterized by rising rates of obesity and nutrition-related chronic diseases. This shift has already taken place in high-income countries where it occurs more gradually. But you have to ask a question. Like in the US, when we're facing a recession, although they don't admit to it, but in the case like now, when we seem to be having a recession, how does that work when it comes to this famine mentality? Because if you're thinking famine, you're going to be thinking preservation, and you want to store up things aren't readily available, you don't get to splurge, you don't have surplus and waste. So is that a better mindset to have a famine pattern approach to your lifestyle. So you now watch your portion sizes. You watch how it is that you prepare your meals. Is that the mentality that we actually need to have in order to have a better lifestyle? Technology, urbanization, and expansion of global trade have helped drive the trend toward obesity. In low and middle income countries, these changes have led to reduced physical activity in work and leisure, and a shift toward the Western diet, characterized by high intake of fats, particularly vegetable oils, added sugars, animal source foods, and refined carbohydrates. The fast food, in a nutshell. They have also paved the way for transnational food and beverage corporations to shape global and local food systems. So the big food industry gets to dictate how your kitchen looks, how your pantry looks. This includes through the spread of fast food outlets and ultra-processed foods such as packaged snacks, confectionery, and sugary drinks. And so in our pantries, we end up having all of these things. And when we think about grabbing lunch, it is the nearest fast food restaurant that comes to mind. Not necessarily the cooked food restaurant, but the fast food restaurant. And so you have big food, the big food industry, shaping how it is that our lifestyle is presented, how it is designed, how it looks, which is quite challenging for us, because with big food comes big pharma. When you have the big food industry dictating how your pantry looks, then it takes away from the nutritional diet that you're supposed to have, which now puts you in a position of dis-ease, which leads to sickness. You have inflammation happening with high sodium and high sugar intake and less activity. And so now you need pharmaceuticals. So you see how big food and leads to big pharma being super successful. And even when you are now getting into the pharmaceuticals, you're still going towards the big food market because you want the junk. Sugar is addictive. We have come to recognize that, and time again, we address issues like that here on Healthy Love. So we recognize it. Just about everything we consume has high fructose corn syrup in it, or sugar, or refined sugar, or some form of sweeten, and or some form of sweetener, I should say. And sometimes you have multiple forms of sweeteners. Why do we need to have sugar and high fructose corn syrup in bread? Why? But you read the labels and it's there. Even in wheat bread, whole wheat bread, it's there. Why? Doesn't have to be. And so we look at the labels of all the things that we would consume, some of the basic things that we would consume, and there they are. And these are the basic things that we are consuming every day. So how do we combat that? When we want something to drink because we're thirsty, we go for a soda versus drinking some water. That doesn't combat it. That contributes to it, and it makes a bad situation that much worse. Because what we're not doing is going to take a walk because we don't have the time, because we have these stressful lives. We have to go out to work early in the morning, come back late, look after the family, and go and get rest. And that's another thing too, the lack of enough rest. We don't get enough rest because we're out there commuting several hours in the day because we have to get to the job that we need to pay the bills, that we need to live comfortably. And so we are bound to this paycheck, which damages our lifestyle. And I'm not saying don't work. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying be mindful when you have to work. What are the things that you need to do to stay healthy? With food systems, this encompasses the pathways by which food travels from farm to fork, including growing, harvesting, processing, packaging, transporting, marketing, consuming, and disposing of food. They include the various inputs, labor, technologies, materials, and outputs generated at each stage. And ultra-processed foods are formulations of ingredients resulting from a series of industrial processes. They are based on ingredients rarely used outside of these processes, such as high fructose corn syrup, modified oils, and whey protein. Colors, flavors, emulsifiers, and other additives are frequently added to make the final product hyper palatable. There are people that live to eat, and there are people that eat to live. Which one are you going to be? As a result of this rapid nutrition transition, many low and middle income countries are facing a double burden of undernutrition, including stunting, wasting, underweight, and micronutrient deficiencies. And coupled with that, you have overweight or obesity happening. This double burden can coexist within the same country, village, family, and even an individual. In countries that have focused for decades on issues of hunger and infectious diseases, it may be difficult to get prevention of obesity and chronic diseases onto a political agenda. The World Health Organization, the WHO, now recognizes this as a challenge of malnutrition in all its forms. Now, people would think of malnutrition and immediately go to those infomercials of starving children in some remote part of Africa. First of all, Africa is beautiful. Africa is rich. So for them to find the most desolate part of Africa to film these children, that's a travesty. And not say these children from this particular location can use some help. Right? Don't paint the big picture. Don't just broad brush. Give the information and give it properly. So, anyway, I digress. Here we are. Malnutrition is a lot of what we face when we visit our supermarkets here in the United States. Because there is more junk food on our shelves than healthy food. And the healthy food is not readily available to everybody because not everybody can afford it. Go figure. So how do you expect to have a healthy society with healthy food not being readily available? You do the math. When you figure it out, you let me know. Quick comment here in the stew pot before I take my next break. You are making the case for the return of a simpler life. Sure. For each family or individual, it will look different. I advocate for families to eat cooked dinners together again. As we eat, we can converse and put down the devices for a bit. Yeah. True. Because it's another thing that is missing and important to the growth and development, the healthy growth and development of communities. We're not communicating with one another again. We don't even know how to. But again, that is for another broadcast. What we're going to do right now is take another break. When we come back, we finish looking at this information, and then we look at the article in its entirety. Call your friends, tell your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends, friends of your friends. Tell everybody. Tell all your enemies too. It's Healthy Love right here on the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. We'll be right back. Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com, your links to worship and praise.
Making great music is one thing, sharing it with the world, that's another. Let the professionals at Reggae Global Entertainment help you to another level. Specializing in artist management, booking, public relations and marketing, and promotion, Reggae Global Entertainment can help you with event planning, websites, photography, and video production, press releases, legal services, and graphic design. They can even help you with music production, so you can get the sound that you want every time. Call Reggae Global Entertainment at 954-804-8199. That's 804-8199. Or visit them online at reggaeglobalentertainment.com.
MRE Entertainment, in association with VPAL Distribution, presents the brand new hit single.
I'm Robert French, and you're listening to my new song, Every Day of My Life.
Now available on all major digital platforms.
Every day of my life will be, I just loving you. Spend the rest of my life always, I just loving you. Every day of my life will be, I just loving you. Spend the rest of my life.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulseemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
Yes. Akar Mantino, I'm making notes right now. You are locked in to DJ Kevin Stew on the night shift.
Things used to be so good. What happened? Make me go back. This is the remix.
Why you calling me, boy? Wasting all my time, boy. Got nothing to say, boy. It ain't really going nowhere. You ain't trying to elevate me. Tell me about my history and how things really ought to be, and how you gonna be the change, and how we gonna make the change in this cold world, yeah. Stimulate my mind, stimulate my mind, make love to my mind, make love to my mind.
You took for granted everything I used to do. Gave you my heart, but still that's not enough for you. You keep on playing games, I think it's time you ought to change. I don't need someone that makes me feel that way.
Stimulate my mind, stimulate my mind. Let me give you a throwback down on memory lane. Take me to the park where conversation sparks, and it was really going somewhere. Talk about our fears, you hold me, and planning out our lives. We were conscious of the work to be done. If we could carry on, but the love so strong. If we could save it, baby, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Where were you when I was deep in problems? Left me alone for me to solve them. Look at what we had, we started, and even though my heart says to, my mind won't let me be with
think it's time we go our separate ways. 'Cause when you love someone, you shouldn't feel this way. My heart is telling me to stay, my mind to go. I know you feel the same, so why not just let go? I keep on running around in circles for you, trying to make it work, but seems like there's no use. You got the best of me, how could I be so fool?
Things used to be so good.
How could I be so fool? Stimulate my mind, stimulate my mind. You can have all of it, baby.
China Nicole working out with Tanisha brings back from the break track called Stimulate My Mind.
You can have all.
And you know how I feel about that, right?
It's gotta be something.
One of my jobs is to stimulate your appetite, not satisfy your hunger. So
Boy.
if that works by stimulating your mind, let me do it. Now, in continuing with looking at the obesogenic lifestyle, in high-income countries such as Australia, interventions to have largely, to date, interventions to have largely employed individual-level approaches to promote healthy choices and prevent obesity. These approaches are insufficient without addressing obesogenic modern environments that encourage high energy intake and sedentary behavior. Obesogenic environments are the collective physical, economic, policy, social, and cultural factors that promote obesity. For example, they may have a high concentration of fast food outlets and encourage driving over walking. That is how a whole society contributes to obesity. Obesity has been characterized as a systems problem with complex and interconnected causes, as opposed to a simple problem with linear cause and effect. Unhealthy food marketing, for example, is driven at the societal level by economics. It can influence the physical environment, such as the product placement and availability, as well as social norms, and affect individuals differently depending on individual biology and genetics. A systems approach is therefore needed to prevent and control obesity. An example of a systems approach in the US city of Baltimore incorporated the following key components. Pay attention to this. Take notes if you need to. If not, you can always go back to the podcast or go back to the website and check out one of the recordings, yeah? Let me just do it that way. Cultivated expertise from multiple disciplines, including civil engineering, health policy, and nutrition, and community representatives. So get a group together, get a committee together from a wide cross-section, yeah? They mapped the major causes of obesity and the relationships between them. They created a computer model representing children's interactions with causes of obesity through detailed model of children's movements over the course of a day, broken down by gender, weight, height, healthy to non-healthy food practices. All these things were put together. And they use this model to design, implement, and test interventions, including cooking classes, peer mentoring, ads to promote healthy eating, and incentives for store owners to stock healthy foods. Now, that is a city with a plan. A plan to maintain, to keep and maintain their best resource, human resource. The complex issues of obesity, undernutrition, and climate change have recently been framed as a global syndemic, defined as two or more diseases or disease states that adversely interact with each other to negatively affect the trajectory of each disease. Obesity, undernutrition, and climate change require common underlying societal and political drivers that require transformative systems approaches to address them. For example, Obesity and climate change are both driven by the high consumption of cheap energy sources, your food and fossil fuels. Car-oriented transportation systems and economic systems that promote excessive and unstable consumption. While sufficient food is produced to meet the dietary energy requirements of a global population, agricultural systems favor staple crops, including rice, maize, and wheat, and fail to produce sufficient global supplies of pulses, fruits, and vegetables to meet recommended population level intakes. Now, agriculture has increasingly become an engine not for producing food, but producing biofuels and industrial ingredients for processed food products like sugar sweetened beverages and ready to eat meals and snacks. Now, for those of you who say, hey, listen, I don't do the regular fast food thing. No. I make sure I get my vegan alternatives. And so I have my packaged vegan meal, and they pull out a tofurkey and a what's a burger called? An Impossible Burger in a package that you just toss in the microwave. Okay, so let me get this clear. You're gonna substitute preparing a whole meal with this. Did you take a moment to consider that this is a packaged meal, and just like any other packaged meals, it's packed with preservatives and additives? Oh, but because it's a vegan alternative to what is said to be so detrimental to our health, we're gonna go with it. Now, let that sink in for a moment before you respond to me. Let me continue with the information that I have here. I just wanted to put that out there. Okay? Think about it for a moment. A lack of action to address these syndemic drivers is due to policy inertia, a collective term for inadequate political leadership and governance, strong opposition by powerful commercial interests to policies in a public good, or in the public good, and a lack of demand for policy action by the public. Well, you see, the public has already been brainwashed and is comfortable in the sedentary lifestyle and the junk food. And because sugar is so addictive, they're already hooked on it. So they keep going back. It's like the drug dealer on the corner. They're not using the product, but they're making sure that you get it. And they're giving it to you in just so small doses so that, and they make it just affordable enough that you can get some, stay hooked, and come back for more. And that's a business. And that's exactly what is happening in big food industry. And we keep getting sucked in. Again, this is despite the sale of energy-dense and nutrient-poor food and drink, creating a negative externality for which governments must bear significant obesity-related costs, including healthcare, foregone revenue, and reduced productivity. They don't see the negative effect of these things. So your best resource, your human resource, suffers. For what? Well, how much profit are you going to make with an unhealthy society than a healthy one? So if you make the healthier choice more readily available, if you embark on that journey, and I'm not talking about genetically modified food either. I'm talking about the farmers, the people who want to get into farming. Instead of destroying their lands and putting up warehouses and these automated businesses, put people out there on the farms. Let them have their farms and create this industry. We come back to this. So we're eating from, we have more readily access, more access to grown provisions, to good, real, whole food. Those that have chicken farms, those that can have goat farms, cow farms, and then we buy from them as we do the farmers markets. And there you have an economy growing, because no, these people have to go, they have to pay the vets, because the vets have to come out. But they also have to work the land. And in working the land, they have to buy fertilizer. And yes, the animals that they have, those who have animals on their land, they can get, and this is how businesses thrived, farmers thrived in back in the day, because those that had animals had fertilizer that they could sell to those that grew produce. That's natural fertilizer. And from those produce that were grown, they who raise animals get animal food. So one hand washes the other. And we, the consumers that don't do any of that, we give them the money that they can use to get what they need, and we get the food. While we do other things like logistics and provide energy. And they have to pay for that energy. So we have an economy that grows and it's healthy. But doing that causes Big Pharma to struggle. And with Big Pharma being such a big supporter of the political agenda, well, we can see how that doesn't work, right? But we, the people, really get to decide. So why aren't we, the people, talking? Transnational ultra-processed food and beverage companies, sometimes collectively called Big Food, contribute to unhealthy dietary habits through the production and distribution of unhealthy products that have often cheap, aggressively marketed, readily available, and sold in increasingly large amounts. In 2018, the top 25 companies in the sector generated US $749.3 billion, with a B, billions in revenue and 137 billion in profit, making them hugely powerful economic entities. Former Director General of the World Health Organization, Margaret Chan, has observed that market power readily translates into political power. Political power is then used to lobby against regulatory action such as bans on marketing unhealthy food to children, warning labels on unhealthy food, and taxes on sugary drinks. So, could it be that those who could make a difference don't have the resources to make the difference because you have the big food industry that is making the big money, and money talks? Because again, money strength equal political, and then you can dictate how a society operates. Now, when I say it, you think I'm a conspiracy theorist. Well, this is in black and white. You can find it yourself. It's obesityevidencehub.org. Or is this one .com? .org. Yeah. All right. So you can check it out yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. Now, going back to the article that started all of this, before we get into musical therapy. The article found on newsmedical.net is titled "Study Finds Sexual Dimorphism in the Development of Vascular Insulin Resistance Induced by Obesogenic Lifestyle." And it reads, "A new study from the University of Missouri School of Medicine is the first evidence in humans that short-term lifestyle changes can disrupt the response to insulin of blood vessel. The response to insulin of blood vessels. It's also the first study to show men and women react differently to these changes. Vascular insulin resistance is a feature of obesity and type 2 diabetes that contributes to vascular disease. Researchers examined vascular insulin resistance in 36 young and healthy men and women by exposing them to 10 days of reduced physical activity, cutting their step count from 10,000 to 5,000 steps per day. These participants also increased their sugar beverage intake to 6 cans of soda per day. 6 cans of soda per day, that's like torture. The results showed that only in men did the sedentary lifestyle high sugar intake cause decreased insulin-stimulated leg blood flow and a drop in protein called atropine, which regulates insulin sensitivity and is an important biomarker for cardiovascular disease. These findings underscore a sex-related difference in the development of vascular insulin resistance induced by adopting a lifestyle high in sugar and low on exercise. This is what Manrique Acevedo said. To our knowledge, this is the first evidence in humans that vascular insulin resistance can be provoked by short-term adverse lifestyle changes, and it is the first documentation of sex-related differences in the development of vascular insulin resistance in association with changes in atropine levels or atropine levels. Manrique Acevedo said she would next like to examine how long it takes to reverse these vascular and metabolic changes and more fully assess the impact of the role of sex in the development of vascular insulin resistance. The entire MU research team consisted of Juame Padilla, PhD, Associate Professor of Nutrition and Exercise Physiology, and co-corresponding author of his work, Luis Martinez Lemos, DVM, PhD, Professor of Medical Pharmacology and Physiology, and R. Scott Rector, PhD, Associate Professor of Nutrition. It also included postdoctoral fellow Rogerio Soares, PhD, and graduate students James A. Smith and Thomas Jurison. Their study, young women are protected against vascular insulin resistance induced by adoption of an obesogenic lifestyle, was recently published in the journal Endocrinology. Part of the support for this study was provided by the National Institutes of Health and a VA merit grant. The content does not necessarily represent the official views of the funding agency. The authors declare no potential conflicts of interest. Manrique Acevedo and her collaborators work from the Roy Blunt Next Gen Precision Health Building at MU, which anchors the statewide initiative to unite government and industry leaders with innovators from across the system's 4 research universities in pursuit of life-changing precision health advancements. The University of Missouri, their Systems Bold Next Gen initiative, highlights the promise of personalized healthcare and the impact of large-scale interdisciplinary collaboration. Now, you don't really need a rocket scientist. You don't really need these professors, these scientists to tell you what your body is telling you. However, it helps. And so, with this being the very first of its kind of study with findings that is being released that talks about how men and women react to the food that we consume, how over time it makes a difference, and it can lead to a life of obesity, which then contributes to insulin resistance or vice versa. Ultimately, we're talking about an unhealthy lifestyle and a shortened lifespan, because it can only lead to short lives. And when we see our children coming up and at age 15, their clothes are bigger than yours, and they can't climb 2 flights of stairs without stopping halfway being winded, that's a problem. Because they still have to get to your age, whatever your age is. They are teenagers. And you have to ask the question, will they make it? If they continue along this path, where they're consuming these high sugar content drinks, they're eating these high sodium content meals, and they spend their time on their butts, then they will end up having short lives and spending a lot of time on their backs. A significant portion of it they won't know about, because chances are they'll be dead. It sounds morbid, doesn't it? But look at the information that we have in front of us. Look at what happens to the children in our communities. When I was growing up, most of my time was spent outdoors, and if my punishment was to be indoors. Now for punishment, we're sending our children outdoors. And that is punishment. We're taking away the junk food. Or we're incentivizing them with junk food. That is the go-to. Why? Why are we signing our children's death warrants? Why are we signing our own death warrants? Why aren't we sitting down for meals as families once again? We can find ways to carve out that time, because we make time for things that are important to us. We can find ways to do it, even if it means happening virtually. Yeah, no, it brings back technology into the mix, but guess what? If it brings back technology into the mix, but you get to sit down and have a real meal, or even prepare a real meal together in different parts of the world, then it is worth it. Because at the end of the day, you're contributing to a healthier lifestyle. And if it means using technology to take a walk together, it is contributing to a healthier lifestyle. Let's make that the focal point. The healthier lifestyle. The little bit of exercise that we can get. The making sure we have a diet that works for us individually. It's not a one-size-fits-all because of whatever it is that ails us today. Because of all the additives that have been put in foods that we've been consuming blindly. And it has been having adverse effects on us. Now again, it doesn't affect us all the same way. But when you look at the population that suffers from hypertension and diabetes the most, you have to wonder what's up with that. And you have to take matters into your own hands. Because nobody is as responsible for you as you are.
Now here comes another musical transmission. Roots Operation.
Moving into musical therapy. Kicking it off with a song on Marty Dread working out with President Brown. The track is called No to Monsanto.
Say we're living in a crucial time. Mother Nature in serious decline. Not to mention the war and crime. Millions of people in need.
You're the one said.
More people than we can feed. Couple that with their corporate greed. Monopolizing the food we eat. Time for the people to see. First they tried to kill the weed. Now they want to control the seeds. Me say
no to Monsanto. Everybody say no to Monsanto.
I hear the people cry.
Oh, the people say so to big money corporation. Monopolize
politicians got no common sense. They're sowing seeds of pestilence. Revolution is sure to follow. Revolution. So we are here to say it's time to go. You and your bloody GMO. It may be the David and Goliath thing. We will protest and we will sing. No, no, say no. No to Monsanto. Everybody say no, no, no to Monsanto. I hear my people say, we say no, no, no to Monsanto. Everybody say no, no, no to Monsanto. They got it go. They got a vocal sound. Chant them down. Take out David's to Goliath with a sling and a stone. Sounds of rebellion. Play this on the station. Inform the nation. Got a situation. Call to action. Immediate attention is needed. Together as one. We the people got the right to live. People want to live without being a science project or a guinea pig. They say no food shall be grown that they don't own. We come together, chant them down. We say no, no, no to Monsanto. Everybody say no, no, no to Monsanto. They got it go. No, no, they say no to Monsanto. People say no, no.
The people say no to Monsanto. President Brown working out with Marty Dread.
Can know. Seasoning up.
This is on a Jadan.
Well, cut up.
Track is called Cooking. What are you cooking today?
Seasoning up. Well, cut up. Wood fire blaze up. So you know some pot a boil up. I'm cooking today. What I'm cooking today. I got some ital stew. We got some quinoa will do. I'm cooking today. What I'm cooking today. Ital stew. We got some spell dumpling will do. This I wanna eat a. In about 5 minutes more for this zipper. I said the walnut porridge well thicker. I said the ital stew with a kick. Say me want no come in no want no little bitter. You know see you me calabash stick. First coconut bitter in a hit. I be safe just a little bit. Feel it for more when me forward. Frost off for me split. The kitchen I forget a visit. I'm cooking today. What I'm cooking today. I got some ital stew. We got some quinoa will do. I'm cooking today. Them ask me what I'm cooking today. Ital stew. We got some spell dumpling will do. No meat no in my kitchen. Rastafari no support blood spilling. Pass I some chickpeas or some ackee off the trees. Wild rice or your wild so. Full the pot of water, can't spoil you. Coconut a bubble down, hile you. Galang madam tell them can't style you. When you steam the callaloo, you make it mild so. And she no eat them KFC nor them burger. Watch it, Babylon and where you heard her. And she no eat no for a burger. I'm cooking today. What I'm cooking today. Ital stew. We got some quinoa will do. I'm cooking today. Them ask me what I'm cooking today. Ital stew. We got some spell dumpling will do. Seasoning up. Well cut up.
Yes, it's a boy Jordan Congo Bongo himself. And I represent for Kevin Stew on the night shift. City in and Kamola vibes. Yes, I.
Thank you, Jordan. This is the zone of the real storm. Track is called Ital.
Gonna love you, gonna make you mine. Don't give me the ital, no plug every bass in all the data line. Take my watch, I give you all my time. This kind of meditation's hard to find. I'm gonna love you, gonna make you mine. You consecrate me with you when you saturate my enterprise. So only you can cross, I wanna line. Your love is so celestial, so divine. I was trying to fight this feeling, but your loving is killing me softly. If I were in there, you show me you're a soldier in a army. And you're smoother than the creamer when me pouring on my coffee. Anything me need, me now fi search because you have it. Now long conversations in the night, yo, talking about things that we got into. You overstand all that I've been through. There's no pretending when I'm with you. Gonna love you, gonna make you mine. Don't give me the icon, no plug every bass in all the data line. Take my watch, I give you all my time. This kind of meditation's hard to find. I'm gonna love you, gonna make you mine. You consecrate me with you when you saturate my enterprise. So only you can cross, I wanna line. Your love is so celestial, so divine. Run every call, I run every feater. Me block them and delete, sir. Are you alone, me wanting on me personal diameter. Not to your nice and not to your neater. You're firing, not to your sweeter. I wanna be your empress, wanna be your senorita. Give me a paper, give me a lighter. Or make me blaze the pipe. You tell me you need me like some artist and you really need a writer. You want the cook with in me salsa, the mineral in me water. I know that I made you, I adjust for me. Gonna love you, gonna make you mine. You give me the icon, no plug every bass in all the data line. Take my watch, I give you all my time. This kind of meditation's hard to find. I'm gonna love you, gonna make you mine. You consecrate me with you when you saturate my enterprise. So only you can cross, I wanna line. Your love is so celestial, so divine. When you hold me in your arms and then you put on the pressure, body's integrating in pleasure. You whisper in my ears and make we do this forever. Can we claim the eyes and face the load them together? Oh gosh, I'm longing for you. Are you longing for me? I see in your eyes that you want me to stay. Wrapped up in your arms and the liquor spatter. Run away, run away, run away, baby. Gonna love you, gonna make you mine. Don't give me the icon, don't plug every bass in all the data line. Take my watch, I give you all my time. This kind of meditation's hard to find. I'm gonna love you, gonna make you mine. You consecrate me nature when you saturate my enterprise. So only you can cross, I wanna lie. Your love is so celestial, so divine.
Sugar lips, sugar lips. Your kiss is sweet all the time. Sugar lips, sugar lips.
I know I talk about staying away from the sugary substances, but when it comes to sugar lips, you can get as much of that as you want. This is the sound of Ambelique. The track is called Sugar Lips.
The first time we met, girl.
At the union of Ed Robinson and Joanna Marie, this man sang for their first dance.
Every minute,
That union happening just this past weekend.
in my arms.
Oh, what a beautiful union it was. The son of Ambelique.
Ooh, yeah, baby.
If you know you got them sugar lips, you know you're gonna be in high demand, right?
Sugar lips, sugar lips. Your kiss is sweet all the time. Sugar lips, sugar lips. One sip tastes like a wine. Sugar lips, sugar lips. Girl, I want you to be mine. Sugar, sugar lips, sugar baby, sugar.
Sugar lips. Girl, I want you to be mine. Sugar. Sugar lips. Sugar baby. Sugar. Yeah. Sugar lips. Sugar lips. Sugar lips. Sugar lips. Yeah, yeah. Sugar lips. Sugar lips. Sugar lips. Sugar lips.
This is the piano stylings of Jamie Hinkson. A reggae jazz pianist extraordinaire. Often on tour with Juju Marley. His production called Don't You Love This Song? This is Uwe Bantan out of Germany. A track called Nur der Liebe hört nie auf.
Sie bleibt stets verbunden vom Anbeginn des Liebe hört nie auf.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch.
In schweren Stunden, sie mildert unser Leid. Nur die Liebe hört nie auf.
It translates, only love never ends.
Der Welt viel. Nur die Liebe hört nie auf.
If you didn't know, now you do.
Egal was Menschen tun, arbeiten ohne auszuruhen. Geld, Macht und Ruhm, all das ist vergänglich, ein großer Irrtum. So viele Lügen und Betrügen, für manche ist das wie ein Vergnügen. Und was erscheint so groß und wichtig, ist doch am Ende null und nichtig. Nur die Liebe hört nie auf, sie bleibt stets verbunden vom Anbeginn der Zeit. Nur die Liebe hört nie auf, trägt uns durch schwere Stunden und mildert so unser Leid. Nur die Liebe hört nie auf, stärker als das Schwert, weil sie sich durch Teilung vermehrt. Nur die Liebe hört nie auf. In dieser Welt voll Materialismus, geprägt von Leid und Narzissmus, der Mensch nicht mehr weiß, wo er hin muss, senden wir einen Liebesgruß. Es gibt kein Mich ohne dich. Und was ist schöner als ich liebe dich zu sagen? Ich bitte dich nicht zu verzagen. Nein, nein, nur die Liebe hört nie auf. Sie bleibt stets verbunden vom Anbeginn der Zeit. Nur die Liebe hört nie auf, trägt uns durch schwere Stunden und mildert unser Leid. Nur die Liebe hört nie auf, das Einzige, was zählt, doch so sehr in der Welt fehlt. Nur die Liebe hört nie auf. Und wenn sie wieder Angst und Hass verbreitet.
This is the young doctor out of Ethiopia. Yeah, she is actually. She went through medical school. But she also loves music. This is a track called Balu Dan Shaho. which is Sidamu Afu for All Is Well. Yeah, Sidamu Afu is a dialect in Ethiopia. The rest of the song is in Afrikaans. If there's nothing else that you take away from your day or take into it, take this. All is well. She said something she heard her grandparents sing all the time. Balu Danchaho. I'd really like to get to know you, Miss Brown Eyes. This is the son of Paul Anthony working out to this dad, Pat Satchmo.
It was so nice.
I want to say a blessed Earth Day to Paul Anthony.
Well, there's just
celebrating his Earth Day today. Much love to the Scorpio crew.
Let me tell you about a girl I met in summer 09. Tan skin, brown eye, mommy was so fine. Can just imagine all the man with the pan request line.
This is brand new music from them.
And you know right how they get with it off in no time. No for waiting, no line to get loving on time. Plenty gal run me down, but me not pay them no mind. Me and this rude gal have to combine what I say. Hey brown eyes, I really wanna get to know you, so I can show you. Something about those eyes. I see the rise are so captivating, making me tune into a radio station. I wanna make her mine. Every time I gaze in, my girlie is so fine. Safe to say she blazes. I don't know, she acting like she don't know that I'm feeling nice, so we'll be taking it slow. Fear I put them other guys on hold and non-stop lover like I'm supposed to. It goes so. Hey brown eyes, I really wanna get to know you, so I can show you my love, my love. Hey brown eyes, it was so nice to meet you, girl. Well, there's just something about those eyes. Let me run me down. Those eyes.
just something about those eyes.
Mama, your welfare is my concern.
This is a tune by Candyman.
Blessings not too much.
It's called Every Day is Mother's Day. Produced by Mr. Benji Myers himself, the maestro.
Now I'm grown up, strong enough to carry you. Mama, you aren't heaven. You're my mother. Come on now, sisters. I'll help you to carry her. Mom's burden's not too much to bear. We'll get there. So now we're strong enough to carry her. Yeah, she ain't heavy.
Just understand you're not heavy.
She's a mother.
You are a mother, you are a sister.
If I'm a lady,
I want to thank you all for tuning in tonight. This is where we parts company with the sound of Candyman in the background, track called Every Day is Mother's Day, produced by Benji Myers. I want to thank you all once again. Do remember to look out for members of your community as we parts company. And remember, your company is not just the development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. So those that you pass on the bus, the plane, the boat, or the train, whether you walk, ride, or drive, these are members of your community. Do something good for one of them today, because you never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. My name is Kevin Stew. This is what I like to do to you, for you, and with you every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all being well right here, kevinstew.com and affiliates. Catch you tomorrow, all things being equal, for real talk, right here on the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. And we have a special guest. She was our guest last Monday, talking about human trafficking as a trafficking victim herself. And she joins us tomorrow night as she talks about soul ties. You don't want to miss it. Be here, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here, kevinstew.com. Until then, good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world. From right here in South Florida, I bid you all a good night. Be good. If you can't be good at it. I'm out of here. Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.